And this is the December 2nd, 2019, January 21st sit-in planning call. I'm Jessica. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Hope you all had a nice harvest holiday, we'll call it, and appreciate you making the time. So before we get into talking about how things are going, I'm just going to link a couple things here in the chat bar. Let me know if you have a hard time accessing anything. This is the campaign packet that I just sent, so that you can refer to that as we're talking. And I'm also going to link the action planning survey. This is different than the readiness survey that you may have taken a month or two ago. This is to let me know where actions are happening so that I can get them on the map and we can help you get the word out. So if you haven't already filled that out, please do, even if you're not totally sure about every single detail yet. That would be helpful. So thank you for that. Things are coming along. A lot of people are kind of in full swing, escalating things, working towards January 21st, and some people are still deciding what exactly they're going to do. And that's okay. There's still time to work out some of the finer details. So since there are so few of us, I'm wondering if actually we can do a go round and just have everyone introduce yourself, remind us where you're from, and then let us know how it's going. How is the escalation, the calls and the emails? How's that going? Do you need anything? And have you run into any barriers? So just kind of some time to troubleshoot if you need it, and let us know how things are going. Before we do that, I just had one announcement, and because I've been getting a lot of questions about it, I just figured I'd address it for everyone. So these actions are primarily targeting House members. I know there are some people who are thinking about doing senators, and I think that is a great aim. The only thing is that certain things have changed because the ask for senators is a little different than it used to be. Now that we have a Senate lead, rather than asking our senators to introduce the amendment, we're going to be asking them to sign on to the amendment when it's introduced. And so because the ask is different now, we think that it's probably better to wait and do sit-ins for senators once we have had the time to make this more recent ask of them. So using this time between now and like February to really make sure that they know that the amendment's going to be introduced, asking to come on as an original co-sponsor, and then by maybe February or March, maybe a sit-in would be more appropriate. But since we now have a Senate lead, there's not been anything for them to do yet in terms of what the more current ask is. So if you're thinking about doing a senator, I still think that work should still happen. But it may want to wait until later than January 21st to make sure that they've had an opportunity to do what we want them to do. So we're not escalating out of nowhere. So if you have questions about that during the go around, feel free to ask them. Okay, so let's start with you, Bill. You want to introduce yourself and remind us where you're from and let us know how things are going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, my name is Bill Kaplinger. I am a longtime member of Move to Amend here in Pensacola. At one time or the other, there was 1, 2, or 3 of us as co-coordinators. I think now we have two co-coordinators of what's going on in the Pensacola Bay Area, and that is Mike, who I hope will be on, but Mike Potters, and also me. So I'm looking for Mike to come on because the thing that I had planned to do and finally did accomplish today is that we have, or I have, a number of us have a pretty long history of activism here in Pensacola. And there is, when the Gulf War was about to start, we decided on a form of action, and it was to have silent vigils at the Martin Luther King Monument here in downtown Pensacola. And it was led by a great person by the name of, and I'm at the age where every name I start to pull up is blanking on me. It'll come to me in just a second. But in any case, I called her, finally reached her today. She was out of town. And her name is Patricia Edmiston, Edmistin. And she is very well known here. She's a poet, she's an activist, she's a retired university professor. And what we did for 6 years was to do one variation or the other of this action. And from like 2003, when all that started, and we went on to do it. In any case, I thought that that should be part of what we would do. It's in downtown Pensacola. It's walking distance of everything else. And I thought that we would do that. And also, so I finally called her. I finally reached her today. She had been out of town. She's slowing down. Her husband's slowing down. They're in transition. They're trying to figure out where to go. But she is, as I said, very well known and very well respected. And she has a great mailing list. And so I talked to her today, which was what I had told Mike that I would do. And we have her blessings. And of course, she said we don't need her blessing because it was all that thing. But I still think that's a valuable thing to do. And that is a way, again, to get more people, more things. And we had other discussions. But in any case, that's the main thing I wanted to do. I think Mike was going to talk about other things that are going on. But that was the thing that I am. And I also wanted to make sure that I could finally get the Zoom working, and it's working. So I'm thrilled to death about that. And I'll shut up now, unless there's a question.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bill. So if Mike doesn't join, would you be willing to pass on that survey to him so that he can fill out whatever he's doing too, so we can have the full picture?
Yeah, please send it. You've got my, you know how to reach me, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make sure to send the link to that out with the recording of this call as well. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Hi, those of you who just joined. I'm Jessica. We are doing a go-around where folks are introducing themselves, letting us know where you're from and what you have in the works for January 21st sit-ins. If you're getting started and this is still new to you, that's okay. Or if you're in full swing working up to the January 21st action, I want to hear about that. So just let us know where you're at, and also which representative you are targeting would be helpful. Let's go to Janice. How's it going for you?
Right. Let's see. Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. I'm Janice Hill. I'm from Marietta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. We are a small group that just got started this last February. Well, I guess we're going to be a year old before too long. I have another member of my group that is, I know, doing some things. I basically am calling and annoying I make like my 4 or 5 calls every day. I've asked some friends to help me. I don't know if they are or not. I'll have a chance to follow up with some of them next week when I see some in a political group that I belong to. I keep hearing that you need to have 2 people of the same sex for a sit-in kind of thing. And to answer the question of who I'm targeting, it would probably be Congresswoman Bath. She is my congresswoman, and I think should be a good candidate to co-sponsor. I I got a letter from her today, and I think that may be in response to the many calls that I have been making to her office about HR1 and how she's already signed that, and et cetera, et cetera. I haven't answered that yet. I'm going to do that email tomorrow. But I'm kind of looking for, I guess, a partner, somebody to work with. I'm willing to do the sit-in. I'm not so sure I'm wanting to do it by myself. So we'll just see how that goes. So I guess you'd say I'm definitely at the beginning.
All right. That's great. Thank you so much. Just real quick on the point of having two people of the same gender, at the action. If you're thinking you want to do an arrestable action, potentially, that's when we were recommending two people of the same gender, just because when they arrest you, you'll have like a buddy to go through the process with. But it's not like mandatory if you feel comfortable doing it yourself. But if you're not going to do an arrestable action, that doesn't matter so much. So Janice, what I can do for you if you want is help you send out an email to the list in your area looking for someone who wants to join you and be kind of a partner in that. Yeah? Okay, great. I'll add that to my list. Thank you so much. And good job. It sounds like you're doing a good job being annoying. It's great. Cindy, how are you? How's it going?
Good. Hi there. I'm sorry. I'm multitasking and I have paper over my camera. Here we go.
Oh, hey there.
Hi there. Cindy Black, Fix Democracy First here in Washington State. We are basically haven't decided exactly what we're going to do because we also have our big Democracy Lobby Day on the 21st in Olympia with the League of Women Voters. So we'll be talking about Citizens United definitely there, but unfortunately since the League of Women Voters doesn't support a 28th Amendment, we had to stay neutral on us talking about it at lobby days, which is just the agreement we came to. So we're planning to do some actions probably around the 21st. We don't know what day yet. I'm working with Move to Amend in Jefferson County, as well as our other affiliates and former WAMN people here in the state to formulate something. So hopefully we'll figure out what we're going to do. We're probably going to target the senators again, or possibly Rick Larsen, who's the only Democrat that hasn't signed on. We have 6 out of the 7 already signed on of our reps. So we only have 1 Dem and 3 Republicans, and the Republicans won't even talk to us. So that's where we're at. But we think we may focus on senators. That's it.
Cool. Thanks, Cindy. Good work. Okay, yeah, that's great. Is there anything that I can do for you?
Not right now, as oh, Judy's on the phone. I don't know if Judy had any ideas. She might want to follow up from me since she's in Jefferson, Move to Amend, but we haven't really decided what we're going to do yet.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, let me know if you need anything as you go. And if you want to talk more about the senators, just because we've got the Senate lead now, it's like a little different than it was a few months ago. I'd be happy to talk about your specific situation. It's kind of unique up there. So
yeah, I think that's a good way to go for us. So yeah, let's talk offline and go from there.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Cindy.
Thanks, Jessica.
Let's see. We'll go to Judy then, since you're on the same project there.
Hi. Yeah, I'm really glad to see Cindy here. And we're in a district that our representative has already co-sponsored the amendment. So we're trying to figure out how to help generate some interest in Larsen's district. And I'm really glad to know that Cindy is going to be involved in that. What we've done is you sent us a list of petition signers who you said were good bets for being activists. And so our people have called most of the ones that had phone numbers, and a lot of them were not interested. We found a little nucleus that were. And so we sent emails that have the links to both sign up for this call and also the all the information that you've sent to us. But we haven't really identified a core to do anything yet. We sent them each other's phone numbers and email addresses so that they could make contact, but we haven't heard back. So it's a little bit discouraging. But maybe we can share those names and contact people with Cindy, and she can help, see if she can do something, because she's a little closer to that district. So anyway, just that's where we are. Not really too much we can do on our own, since we're not constituents of Larson's.
Right. Great. Well, thank you for doing that. And if there's anything I can do, like helping you send out email blasts more regularly, or I can ask some interns maybe to help with making some calls too. Let me know what I can do to help you find constituents of Larson's, because I think Larson's a really good candidate for an action, and it, as you know, it's helpful to have a.
I forgot to mention that we actually started by sending an email blast to all of the petition signers in the district, and then you sent us the shorter list, and so that's when we did phoning, because we figured they already probably had gotten the email blasts. So anyway, that's where we're stuck right now.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks for that. I'll give it some thought too, and see if I can help you in any way find some more constituents. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Let's go to Joe. Hi. Let's see. Let's make sure you're unmuted here and we can hear you. Not yet. We will make this work. It's not letting me do it from my end. Are you able to unmute from your end? Down at the left-hand corner, there's a little...
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
There you are. Yes.
Okay, hi. I'm Joe Manchik, and this is the first time joining your group. I'm a three-time Green Party candidate for the United States House of Representatives in Ohio's 12th Congressional District. And part of the Green Party platform is, and one of our legislative goals as well, is to obtain an amendment to the Constitution of the United States to reverse the Supreme Court's 2010 decision on Citizens United, and to completely eliminate the concept of corporate personhood that Citizens United created in the United States. That's one of the things that we want to get done with the Green Party, and that's why I've been, it's one of the reasons why I've been trying to get elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. I've been on the ballot 3 times in Ohio to do that. But it's pretty difficult running as a Green Party candidate, running against Democrats and Republicans with millions of dollars in corporate cash to work with. And, my 3 campaigns have pretty much only obtained $3,000 in total from small individual donations. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to get on the ballot next year, because the Democrats and Republicans have pretty much kicked the Green Party off the ballot in Ohio. And what we have to do is obtain a minimum of 42,000 signatures from registered voters in Ohio. And that's a pretty difficult thing to do, to get that many signatures just to get back on the ballot again. So, but we've got about 30 people working on it right now, going out canvassing for signatures, and I've been going around knocking on doors, getting signatures as well. So that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, thanks, Joe. Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. And
nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for fighting the good fight. So what I'd love to do is, is send you the candidate pledge if you haven't already taken it. We'll put it on our website so we can let voters know that you're a candidate that stands for the amendment. And if you are interested, okay, great. I'll email that to you later. And then
thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. And what we're talking about here is a series of actions that are going to happen on January 21st, which is the anniversary of Citizens United. We're going to do sit-ins in congressional offices around the country, demanding that our representatives sign on to the We the People Amendment. And so it would be an interesting opportunity as a candidate to do a sit-in in an office of a competitor, to let them know that, you're standing up for the people, and, give them an opportunity to sign on to the amendment and let them know your demands. If you want, it sounds like you haven't, since you're new to the campaign, if you want to talk more about this offline and explore the potential of doing something like that, I'd be happy to have a phone call with you.
Well, I'd be happy to get more information from you on this and take it to my representative that I ran against last year. His name's Troy Balderson. He's a representative for the 12th District today, and I'd like to take that to his office and get him to sign on.
Excellent. Okay, cool. I'll send you an email so we can get you going soon.
Great, thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Joe. Let's go to Mark. How about you? How's it going down there?
Hello, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with Janice Hill, who spoke earlier, in the Atlanta area, and with our fledgling Move to Amend group here in Atlanta. And right now I haven't been doing my homework as I should have, but it's a little frustrating because my particular congressperson, I've already beaten him to death with emails and phone calls, and the answer is, of course, always no, no, no. He is a Republican, but I'm not sure that matters. We have trouble with Democrats as well in our area. One of the things that we thought of as an action in our last affiliate meeting, group meeting, was I don't think there's no way this is going to happen by the 21st, but was since this is the 10th anniversary, it'd be a great idea if we could get universities in our area, which we're kind of rich in universities around Atlanta, to have a debate debating the actual 10-year history since the Citizens United decision was passed or was handed down. And so we thought, political science departments, law departments might be willing to sponsor us. And so we're just in the early phases now of trying to float that idea out and offer to help support them with some quality candidates for a debate. I'm sure National would be willing to help us on that score as well, should we get a university that would take us up on that. But I think that's a rich possibility. As far as action with my direct senator, which is the Georgia 11th District with Barry Loudermilk, who is very much in the pocket of corporations. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him or how we're still very small. I need to become more active with the mailing lists. I need to become more educated on how to do mailings and so forth. Send out feelers, see what kind of interest other people would have. And the same is true for Janice, that we would need to do that as well to try to help build some more support, because we haven't been communicating anything nearly like we could be doing and should be doing. But we're just trying to kind of, as they say in the vernacular, kind of trying to find our butt with both hands, right now. So that's kind of what's going on with me at this point.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, I'd love to help you figure out doing more mailings and stuff like that. If the process is a little unclear for you, if you email me some text that you want to go out, I'm more than happy to send that out for you. Whatever I can do to help you, utilize that mailing list more. But keep me posted. And, I think the debate is a really interesting idea. And remember that, January 21st is it's the first in this series of 2020 is going to be a big year, so we're not stopping after the 21st. So
Right. And as I've spoke or as I'm emailing universities, I'm just proposing it in the 10th year. So it's not necessarily marking the date itself, but the fact that we are going to enter the 10th year at this point. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's keep working on it, and whatever I can do to help, let me know if I can help you with emails or something. Let's see. Hey, Rick, do you want to give an update about what's up there in New Mexico?
Sure. We're pretty much at the beginning too, in the sense of planning for January 21st. And we're going to be doing some phone banking tomorrow to people in the district and try to find some leaders. Part of the problem is such a huge district, like it's 2-hour drive for me to get to Las Cruces. I did have an idea. I can't remember if I emailed you today about maybe trying to find some people in Albuquerque that could go to Berlin, because our congresswoman has 4 district offices. So we might be able to do 2, but we might not have the enthusiasm to do any. On the positive front, I have actually met with, her name's Xochitl Torres Small, and she's in her freshman term as a Democrat in a very Republican-leaning district that voted for Trump by 7 points. So she's very cautious. So we're really trying to push the various studies we've seen about Republican support and rural support and things like that. But I have met with her about this 3 times, and she's apologized to me twice for not signing on. So it's not like this is going to be unexpected to her. She knows that, there's a movement down here. So I think by the end of the week, we'll have a pretty good idea of whether there will be people to support a direct action or not. But I don't know that right now. And we're looking for leadership in areas near her offices. So that's about it. I appreciate all the work you're doing, Jessica, on organizing all of us all around the country. And hopefully we'll see some fruit after our calling tomorrow and be able to report back.
Awesome. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think, there's, like you said, you've laid the groundwork pretty well. So I hope we can get some momentum to have a sit-in happen. Thanks. Okay. And let's see. Hi, Lawrence. Welcome. We're just doing a go around so people can introduce themselves, remind everyone where you're from, and then let us know what you're up to in your planning for January 21st.
Hi, this is Lawrence with the East Bay Affiliate Group, the East San Francisco Bay. And I've actually been listening for a while, but I just switched from my phone to the computer. And so our target is Congressman Eric Swalwell. Most of the other local reps are already on board. And so I spoke with Barbara Lee a few weeks ago at a candidate interview and told her that Eric wasn't a co-sponsor, and she said that she would have a talk with him. She was scheduling a talk with him anyway, and she would bring up HJR 48. So I know that now Keon and Caitlin are meeting in Washington, D.C. And so I hope to maybe, Jessica, you could get that information to them so that when they talk with Eric's staff, they can maybe check up on how that conversation went. And we've had a whole series of conversations with Eric's staff, both here in his district and also in Washington, D.C. So we're expecting that he comes on board real soon, and will shape whether we do arrestable acts or not based on what we hear back from Caitlin, because he may be fairly sympathetic, but we actually haven't spoken with him in person on this issue. So we're hoping to get some fresh information so that we can more, as in the next few weeks, really shape what our action will look like. And that's it for me.
Excellent. Thanks, Lawrence. That's great. Yeah, really curious to hear how that meeting goes too. And good to hear that Barbara Lee is on it. That's great. Okay, cool. And let's see. Is that Millie there on the 707 number?
No, hi, this is Millie Hartman. I am joining just purely out of curiosity and any support that I can be helpful in providing. I'm sorry I kept bouncing on and off of the video due to some technical difficulties, but I'm thrilled so much is happening. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Melly. Thanks for being here. Okay, so thanks all for that information. That's really good to hear. I know there are also, let's see, probably 6 other actions happening that are not represented here on this call. So I'm still trying to build a map of where everything is and what's all going on. So it would help a lot if you could, even if you just gave me a report, if you could fill out this survey, then I'll have it in one place and add it to the map. That just helps me stay organized. So I'll send this again so that if you haven't already, you can fill in what you've got, and that way I can help connect folks who are nearby as well. So thanks for that. This is really exciting. There's a lot going on, and I know there's a good solid number of these events being planned for January 21st, and then even more in the next round of actions later in the year. So I think we've got a good start, and thank you for everything you're doing. Let's see. I would like to go through the tasks for the campaign for this week. So I'm in the main campaign packet. I will link that again for those of you who don't have it in front of you. And I'm going to just scroll down to the timeline. So where are we at? December 2nd. How is it December 2nd already? That's wild. Okay, so we've got this call. Great, check. And then if you haven't already been able to schedule a meeting with your representative's office for an in-person lobby visit with staff or with the representative themselves, ideally, keep calling. They usually take a little bit of a break around the holidays, so don't be afraid to call several times. Sometimes they need some haranguing in order to make you an appointment. So try to get a lobby day scheduled. I do know that most representatives are scheduled to be in district the week of the 21st. It's an in-district week, so if you wanted to also try to have a lobby meeting that week, that's something you could consider too. We really want to prioritize asking for as many meetings as possible with representatives themselves, if nothing else. We're still making calls every day, bugging them via email, social media, and phone calls, getting our friends and family. I was up visiting my in-laws for the holiday, and we were all just sitting around making calls. So, you can use some holiday time to invest others' time in that as well. Email blasts, like I said, if you're not sure how to get an email blast out to supporters in the district you're working in, let me know and I can help you with that. And then start holding planning meetings if you haven't already with the team that is looking like they're going to be the ones to do the sit-in. So even if you're not sure yet if that's an arrestable action, start getting together with the people who are going to be in the office doing the actual occupation so that you can talk about timing, what time you're going to want to go into the office and start the sit-in. If it's an arrestable action, we can talk about maybe what makes most sense, whether you want to go early in the day so that if they call the police on you, you may still have time to not get booked and spend the night in jail. That's one pro to doing it earlier in the day. If you do it later in the day, you won't necessarily have to sit as long because you might get there closer to when the office closes, and therefore there won't be as much time to wait. So if you want to talk about those details, let me know offline and we can have like a specific meeting about your situation. But we want to talk about timing for the day, messaging. So it's really important, of course, that when we do any sort of action, anybody looking at it should know what it means. And so I'm going to suggest that if you're doing a sit-in, that people are wearing signage actually. So maybe even signs on your backs, t-shirts if you want them, something that lets an onlooker know why you're there. Support the We the People amendment, sign on, it's time already, something like that. Legal support. So, if you haven't already reached out to your local NLG or other ACLU, some people are working with, if you're doing a potential arrestable action, looking for as much local legal support as you can is helpful. And I'm sorry, we can't we're not resourced quite enough to offer you any at this level, but let me know if you need help connecting with those people. And then just checking in with how people are feeling. So as a lead organizer for this, making sure that you're considering how everyone is relating to this action. For a lot of people, this is going to be new. So just making sure that you have the emotional support there with your team as well. And then making social media posts, of course. I think a little bit of tease is good. So letting people know on social media you're planning something exciting for January 21st. You're part of a National Day of Action. Part of what we're doing now is trying to build the narrative that this is a National Day of Action, that you're part of something larger. So it's not just a small one-off thing that's happening in your community, but rather you're partaking in this big event. And getting the messaging right around corporate personhood, making sure we're not just limiting it to End Citizens United, but that we use this opportunity to make sure people have a fuller understanding of the issue, right? Any chance we can get to educate them. And then phone banks, if you haven't already been doing that. I know we're coming up on the holidays, but a pre-Christmas even phone bank would work, or even right thereafter. Let me know if you need petition signer lists or phone banking lists, whatever you need to get the word out. And then if you need any advice about how to organize a phone bank, let me know. And then continuing to collect petition signatures. There's a couple of movies that are out right now that are themed on corporate power. There's a lot of, holiday craft fairs, like lots of community stuff happens around the holidays in a lot of places. So those are good opportunities to bring the petition and grow your support as you lead up to the action. So that's what's on the list for this next week. We're trying to cram in as much as we can before everyone disappears for the holidays. So especially those lobby meetings, and then continuing to apply pressure and be annoying as much as we can. So let's see, I'll pause there and see if there are any questions about any of that stuff. Okay, cool. So then, just to be clear about our schedule here, we've got this call today, and then this week of doing all the things I just mentioned. Next week, we don't have this call, but we are continuing to do these tactics. So next week, you want to, again, make sure you've got an appointment, lobbying, check in with community organizations who you might be working with on this, if you've got other groups who are helping you in one way or another, phone banking, and just continuing to follow up via all the avenues that we've talked about. And then we'll come back here to have another meeting December 16th, same time, and we'll check in there about how that's going, and see at that point how you're feeling about a potential arrest. I think it doesn't need to be decided quite yet, but within the next couple weeks, you want to have a good idea of if that's going to be a risk that you'll take, just so you can start really wrapping your head around that. But we've got time, everyone, even if you're still at the beginning of this, there's plenty of time to be calling, as long as you're really persistent and kind of do this on the daily and get as many people as you can. It can totally be done and be in good context by January 21st.
This is Bill Kaplinger back again. And what I wanted to do was to just give you some more. I keep thinking that Mike is going to come in, and then also Paula Montgomery, who is a key member of person. She's about to come home. She's on her way. But I did want you to know that that Paula is very active in her letter writing to everyone, and she does it daily. And we have 4 or 5 members who are doing that as well. So Mike, I was hoping that Mike would come on and he could tell you about that sort of stuff. But it has really, really picked up a great deal from the way it was a few years ago when Mike was afraid to even mention anything more about what Move to Amend was about. And he's turned into a monster in a good way, in a very good way. So we're working very hard. We appreciate what you're doing, and it's amazing to be part of such a effective and smart and nice people. So thank you.
Oh, well, likewise. This is really humbling to me that you all are willing to even consider doing this. So thank you. And I'm glad to hear Mike's become a monster. That's good. That's a A+. Let's all be monsters for the next month and a half or whatever. And just, I know that there's some offices that are very tired of my voice. So that's a good sign. Okay, so how are we feeling? Let's give a little, like, do we have like a thumbs up or like a go team, or like, let's give each other a thumbs up here. We're going to make this happen. There's still work to be done, but we can totally do it. And, you know, it's more important than ever. 2020 is going to be a huge year. Giant elections happening, so much movement stuff. You've got people on hunger strike right now, you know, dealing with climate catastrophe, and so many young people engaging in movements around the globe using direct action. It's going to be the year of really stepping things up. So I'm glad we're part of it. It's not only strategic, but it's also dire, right? It's this or we fail. So we have no other choice but to step things up and make it happen. So thank you all so much for your role in this. If you need anything, let me know. I'm trying really hard to keep up with my emails from you all around the holidays. If I miss something, I apologize, but ping me again. If I miss something, I will get to it as soon as I can, but don't feel bad to, like, you know, bother me a little bit if you need to. And phone banking lists, emails, or strategic conversations if you want to talk on the phone offline about your specific situation, or if you want me to talk to your affiliate at some meeting or something, let me know what you need. And like I said, if you haven't filled out that survey, that would be really helpful to me, even if some of the details are unclear at this point, that's fine. And let's do it. All right. So that concludes my agenda. If there are any other questions or comments, we can do that now. Groovy. Okay. We'll call it good. And thank you all so much for being here and being a part of this. I will email you soon with all the stuff I referenced here. And let me know if you have any questions. Jessica at movetoamend.org. You see. What's that?
I said, thanks, Jessica.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all so much. Take care now. Talk to you soon. Bye.